Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be teaching you how to play Legends of Runeterra. Legends of Runeterra is a free-to-play strategy card game. You can be the ranked 1 player without spending a single dime. I know it can look pretty complicated, especially if you have no prior card game experience. It is actually pretty easy to learn, so let's jump straight into it. There are 3 main types of cards in the game: spells, minions, and champions. You can have 40 cards in your deck, as many spells or minions as you want, but a maximum of 6 champions and a maximum of 3 copies of each card. The cost of each card is displayed on top left. The attack of minions and champions is displayed on bottom left, while the bottom right represents health. The champions are like minions, except stronger and have a level up condition as well. Once champion levels up, it gains access to additional abilities and gets even stronger. Let's play a game against the AI to explore some more concepts. This is our starting hand. We can replace the cards we don't want to keep. Those cards get shuffled back into the deck and replaced. I'll just replace these single combat spells as I don't think I'll need them early on. Each round, the player with the attack token gets to act first, which is indicated by this sword symbol. The game decides at random which player gets the attack token on round 1. In this case, it's the AI. Both players start the game with 1 mana. At the start of each round, the maximum mana is increased by 1 and the mana bar is refilled. After my opponent plays their card, it is my turn, and I'll play my own 1-cost card. This number on the left indicates Nexus health. Both players start with 20 health. The objective of the game is to reduce your opponent's health to 0. Our opponent is attacking with Sinister Poro. You can right click on any card to read its details and hover over the keyword. In this case, having the keyword fearsome means it can only be blocked by a unit with 3 or more power. The attack goes through and our Nexus suffers 1 damage. The next round, we get the attack token and our opponent defends. The turn after this, our opponent will get the attack token and so on. After I play my card, my opponent gets to act. They decide to pass, so it's my turn again. I'll attack with my units and my enemy now gets to declare blockers or let the attack go through. They decide to block with Sinister Poro. Both units strike each other at the same time, and if the health of a unit is reduced to 0, it dies. After my attack, it is the AI's turn. They play another Poro. I have nothing to play, so I pass. Back to my opponent's turn. They play another card and cast a spell. Only when both players pass, the round ends. I don't want to play any card, so I'll just pass. Let's declare our blockers. This turn, our opponent goes wide. In other words, they have more units than we can block and we take 2 Nexus damage.
I won't back down. What could have been?
These 3 slots below the mana bar are for spell mana. At the end of each round, up to 3 of your unspent mana becomes spell mana. This mana can only be used to cast spells. I'll summon my champion Rob this turn. He has the keyword Challenger, which lets him choose which enemy unit blocks his attack.
Turn the tide.
During the combat phase, you can cast fast or burst spells. Once a player casts a spell, the opponent will get to respond with their own spell. It goes back and forth until a player can't or won't cast a spell and clicks OK.
Many tribes under one banner.
When blocking, you should try to minimize the amount of damage your Nexus takes, and you should try to keep as many units alive as possible.
This is our homeland.
Stand strong.
Let's take a look at our champion Brawl. Not only can we see his details, but also all of his associated cards. We can see that his level up condition is surviving 10 damage. We can also see what ability a leveled up Braum gains as well as his champion spell. Since Braum can summon a Mighty Poro, even that card is displayed here. Let's give our Braum some additional stats.
For the honor of my house.
The spirits of the betrayed are restless.
Yes, rest is very important.
I will drag this 5/5 unit in front of Braum and force my opponent into an unfavorable trade or take damage to his next.
Together.
You have earned your fate.
Now, as you can see, we have 2 regular mana plus 3 spell mana. When I cast a spell, it uses up my 3 spell mana first. Once I'm done casting the spells I want, I'll click OK and let the combat resolve. This levels up Braum. The buffs he received before leveling up are transferred as well.
I'm actually here.
Since this card states that it summons Escaped Abomination when it dies, right-clicking on the card shows Escaped Abomination as well.
We'll take what we need to survive.
The maximum number of cards you can have on board is 6.
Stand behind Grom. We like a challenge.
I'd rather take 1 damage than deal with a card that would be summoned if Cursed Keeper dies. During the combat phase, you can hover over the Oracle Eye to see how the combat would resolve.
Sometimes icy hot just needs warmth.
After giving Braum plus 2 health, I can now see that he would survive. Since we already have 6 units on board, any extra summoned units gets destroyed, as we don't have any space on board for it.
Another day. It is easy, see?
If I play a card, my opponent gets to play a card as well. Instead, I'll simply attack with the units I have on board. This is called an open attack.
No buries all. The day is ours. Now we eat.
There are still a lot of things you'll have to learn, but the best way to get good at this game is by playing it yourself. I hope this video helped. Thanks a lot for watching.